Here comes trouble, people used to say. And who do you think would come walking along?
Uh-oh, here comes trouble.
That's right, Little Miss Trouble. Oh, goodness, the trouble she caused.
Goodbye.
One morning, she went to see Mr. Uppity.
Do you know what Mr. Small calls you behind your back?
No? What does Mr. Small call me behind my back?
Well, Mr. Small says...
Yes, I see. Does he really call me that?
Now, Mr. Uppity didn't like that. Not at all. Not one little bit. He went immediately to find Mr. Small. Little Miss Trouble was thoroughly delighted with herself.
Oh, I do like making trouble. There's nothing like a spot of trouble to liven up the day.
Then, Little Miss Trouble went to see Mr. Clever.
Sir, do you know what Mr. Small calls you behind your back?
Oh, tell me, what does Mr. Small call me behind my back?
Well, Mr. Small says...
Really? Uh-huh. Oh, really? Does he really?
Now, Mr. Clever didn't like that very much either. So he rushed off to find Mr. Small. Little Miss Trouble was terribly pleased with herself.
I do like making trouble. It's no trouble at all, you see. It's easy as pie.
Then she went to see Mr. Worry.
Sir, do you know what Mr. Small calls you behind your back?
Oh, tell me, what does Mr. Small say about me behind my back?
Well, Mr. Small says...
Oh, really? He does? I don't believe it.
Mr. Worry was furious. Off he worried to find Mr. Small. Little Miss Trouble was beside herself with glee.
Oh, I do like making lots of trouble. It's always so much fun for me.
Mr. Small was working in his candy store. He was busy stacking boxes of candy on the counter. Suddenly, the door flew open, and in rushed Mr. Uppity, followed very closely by Mr. Clever, followed even closer by Mr. Worry.
Look here. I want to have a word with you.
We want to see you. Yes, we want to see you right away.
Yes, I want to see you. I really want to see you.
Mr. Small almost jumped out of his skin. He took one step backwards and fell off the counter, bringing half of the boxes down on top of him. When Little Miss Trouble heard what had happened to poor Mr. Small, she chuckled to herself all the way home.
Oh, this is great. I just love it.
Poor Mr. Small arrived at the hospital in an ambulance and hobbled in to see the doctor.
Good heavens, man. Whatever happened to you?
Mr. Small told the doctor the whole story.
Oh, I think something should be done about that little lady. What she needs is, yes, that's it.
What is it?
Asked Mr. Small. Dr. Makewell whispered something in Mr. Small's ear. Would you like to know what he whispered? Well, I'm not telling you, because it's a secret. That afternoon, Mr. Small went to see Mr. Tickle.
Hey! Do you know what Miss Trouble calls you behind your back?
No. What does Miss Trouble call me behind my back?
Mr. Small paused for a moment.
Pudding face!
What?
Pudding face!
Then Mr. Small went over to Mr. Bump's house.
Oh, Mr. Bump,
Hello.
you know what Miss Trouble calls you behind your back?
No. What does Miss Trouble call me behind my back?
Mr. Nitwit!
What?
Mr. Nitwit!
Well, now Little Miss Trouble herself was in trouble,
How dare you call me pudding face?
said Mr. Tickle angrily. And he tickled her,
And how dare you call me a nitwit?
said Mr. Bump. And he bumped her. Now, I don't know whether you've ever been tickled and bumped at the same time, but it's not much fun. In fact, it's no fun at all. Tickle bump, tickle bump, tickle bump, tickle bump, tickle bump, bump, bump. It went on for 10 minutes. And 10 minutes of tickle bumping is a long time, I can tell you that. Later that evening, Dr. Makewell strolled around to see how Mr. Small was doing.
Hello there, Mr. Small. How is your foot?
Oh, much better now, thank you.
And did our little plan work?
It did indeed, yes.
Shake.
Said Dr. Makewell. And they shook hands. Well, not quite hands. Dr. Makewell then strolled round to see Miss Trouble. She was feeling very, very sorry for herself.
Well, now. So what's the matter with you?
And she told him all about it. All about everything.
Oh, Mr. Small went around and told Mr. Tickle that I called him Pudding Face, and I didn't. Then Mr. Small told Mr. Bump that I called him Nitwit, and I didn't. And then Mr. Tickle and Mr. Bump came to me and went, Tickle Bump, Tickle Bump, Tickle Bump.
Oh, now, just cheer up. You know what you've just had, don't you?
Little Miss Trouble shook her head.
No, what?
A taste of your own medicine.